Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and in this video we're going to work on the Choose Your Own Adventure story. I'm going to go ahead and change. We have a lot to get into, so I'm going to change this. Choose Your Own Adventure. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of Scratch the cat because I don't want him, and I actually want to change my background pretty much right away. So I'm going to use these castle we're going to make like a castle story. So I'm going to, actually, is there a forest one? Well, let's start here. Yeah, let's start here at Castle 2. And I'm going to bring in a, well, let's bring in a centaur. The centaur, okay? So the centaur is going to be our guide through this game, or through this Choose Your Own Adventure. So when the green flag is clicked, I'm going to use the centaur. I'm going to have the centaur say something. Welcome to the story. Please enter your name. Actually, I'll keep please enter your name for an ask block. So up here, nope, that's movement, sensing. There we go. So we'll do what is your name and wait, and that's going to be stored in the answer block. Now, what we can do is, actually we don't want to, so this little checkbox next to answer, that will allow us to put the variable on the screen so we can see it as we're executing the code, but that's not something I want to do. You can do that if you want, just to make sure you know what your variables are. I'm going to make a new variable. I'm going to call it name. And then I don't want it to be set. Let's see. And I want to set name to, let's go back to sensing, to answer. So that will essentially add whatever they type into answer and put it into the name variable. Okay, so now I can use name really anytime I want to put some stuff on the screen. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to, let's have them give us some more information. Actually, let's play around with think. And I'm going to use some of these joining blocks down here. These, let's use this. Oh, hold on. Not the operators. I want the join. Where'd my join block go? Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. Join, because we want to join some text. So I'm going to say, and then in here, I'm going to use the variable name. And I want another join block, actually, because I want to continue this. So join So let's see what this looks like so far. Okay, this looks kind of crazy, but let's see what it looks like so far. So when I click the flag, hello, welcome to the story. What's your name? My name is David. David, that's a weird name. Okay, 2 seconds seems really short, so I'm going to extend it to 3. Okay, so now we know now we're using variables, but now I want to have him tell me part of the story. So let's say coming from that castle, should we find out what it is or go back into the forest? All right, and I'm going to actually put that on the screen for 5 seconds. Now, what we're going to do is I want to be more explicit about what we're asking here. So in here, I'm going to put 1. And I'm going to put 2. That way I can indicate that we have this is a choice and that is a choice. So either type 1 or 2 into the screen. So then I want to keep losing my blocks here. Sensing. There we go. And then wait. All right. And now I want to create a new variable, and I'm going to call this choice. All right. And I'm going to set choice to be whatever answer is. So choice is equal to answer. All right. Now at this point, we really need to consider what we're going to do with this information. Okay. We need to create an if-else statement. All right, we need to create an if-else statement. We want one path to be the correct path and one path to be the incorrect path, but we want them to branch off. So let's go into control and let's find an if-else block. So if-else right in there. Okay, now the condition that we want this based off of is whatever's in the choice variable, obviously, right? So we just set the choice variable to be something. So if it's something inside the choice, then, you know, we're going to say if the choice is whatever, then we're going to do this. Now, there's something that I want you guys to pay attention to, the way this logic works. So if we choose 1, we want to go one way. If we choose 2, we want to go another way. But they can enter anything they want, right? And so this, in order to work effectively, really needs to be, we need to think about how this is going to work. So let's make the first condition. Oh, someone just texted me. Sorry about that. Let me silence this phone really quickly. How rude, Mr. Storm. How dare you? Okay, so let's think about what we want our first condition to be. So if, let's see, if choice, so if whatever is in choice equals, we'll say 1, then we want to come down here. Else, we want something inside the else to catch if it's 2. So let's do another else if block or if else block inside of this, right? So then if, so else if, let's do choice equals 2, then we do something. Then this last else is going to be if they enter anything other than 1 or 2. Okay, perfect. So let's see, what do we want to do if choice equals 1? Well, this is a great place for us to use broadcasting, okay? And broadcasting will allow us to essentially send a message, either castle or forest, depending on which choice was made. So let's go into the control here, and nope, not create a clone. Sorry, not control, events. So we're going to broadcast. We're going to change this to castle, and we're going to broadcast and change this to forest. And then if neither of those work, then we're going to use, we're going to say I don't know what you mean. Okay, So now we have a broadcast for castle and a broadcast for forest. So what we can do here is we can actually make our centaur go away whenever either of these are called. So let's say when I receive, when loudness, that actually will check the loudness in the room. That's not something we want to play with. All right, when I receive castle and when I receive forest, I want to hide. And when I'm bringing this hide in, I want to also make sure that I have a show in here somewhere so that he pops up on the screen. Because I want my centaur to go away no matter what we choose at this step. Okay, now this backdrop actually is something that we can change based on input. So when, let's see, when I receive castle, I want to change the backdrop, set backdrop to, and let's find the name of the backdrop we want to set it to. Let's do castle 3, okay? All right, so set it to castle. Let's bring in castle 3. Sorry, I was supposed to click on it and I forgot. Set it to castle 3. Now back over here, actually we want to change it. Let's go to events. When the flag is clicked, we want to set it to castle 2 so that it starts where it's supposed to. All right, so let's make sure that works properly. All right, welcome to the story. What's your name? David. David, that's a weird name. I heard some commotion coming from that castle. Should we find out what it is, 1, or go back to the forest? I'm going to say 1. Now we know that works, right? So my guy went away. We changed my backdrop, all based on my user input. Perfect. So in here, I want to bring in, let's say, a new sprite. And this is going to be there's an elf. That's cool. What else? What else kind of matches the art style? Griffin, kind of. I know there's a goblin in here somewhere. There's a knight, but it's kind of a corny, goofy knight. Doesn't really match the art style. There's a princess. Okay, let's bring in the princess. Okay. Now, I want her to be hidden when we start the game, obviously, because she doesn't show up until this broadcast is set. So I'm going to make sure she has a when the green flag is clicked, and the looks, I'm going to hide her when the green flag is clicked. Now, when we receive the castle broadcast, then I want her to show and then send a message to the screen. So say, oh, sorry. Hello, brave knight. Are you here? Okay. Are you here to help? We'll say 3 seconds. Now, I want to give another decision point at this point. So I'm going to ask yes or no. All right. And then I want to do the same thing. I want to create a variable here. I'm going to call this choice 2. And I want to set choice 2. Oh, let's go back to variables. Set choice 2 based on answer. Okay. Then I want the if else. All right. Same thing as what we did in the last one. But I also kind of want to account for whether they type it capital or lowercase. So we're going to create kind of a bigger block here, and it's going to look a bit weird. So just bear with me. So I'm going to use this OR operator. The OR essentially says, if this is true or if this is true, then we're going to move on. So if choice 2 equals yes, or if choice 2 equals yes, meaning if it's uppercase or lowercase, then we're going to do this. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with no. Okay. Where's my variable? Choice 2 and choice 2. Oh, I didn't click it in there. Oh, I put 2 OR blocks in there. Well, that is my mistake. All right. No or no. Okay. So now if choice 2 or choice, all right, perfect. So then, ooh, we're at 16 minutes. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let me go back to the Centaur. So actually, let's go back to the backstage. So notice that if I have castle, then we broadcast. The princess is waiting for castle to be broadcast, and then that moves on to this branch. But if I choose forest, then we create a broadcast called forest, and our backdrop doesn't really do anything because we haven't set it to do anything. So to finish this program, I would, create another when I receive. So I would do a when I receive, and instead of castle, it would be forest. And then I would change the backdrop to a forest backdrop, and I would have another character in there. And then I can just, you see how we can just keep branching, so on and so forth, right? This video is getting a bit long, so I don't want to keep going. But in here we can say, if you say you're here to help, then she says something positive. If not, she says something negative, whatever, right? This is just what you're going to want to build. You're going to want to create a story, something a little bit more comprehensive than mine probably, but this is the idea that we're going for. Now, remember that you can change your sprites, you can change your backdrops, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. Make this as interesting as you can. This does not have to be a full story, as long as all the ends are tapered off well, right? So if I was to bring in, let's say, if I was to bring in a couple of say blocks in order to finish off this story really easily, good. Oh no. Sorry, what? Oh, hold on. I don't run the code, please. Thank you. All right, so that will finish off this section right here, because no matter what, the story is going to end no matter what happens, right? And then I can finish off the backdrop here. Let's find a good forest backdrop. That's forest, but that's really cartoony looking. That might be, let's choose jungle. It's not really a forest, but it is kind of what we want. And let's bring in that goblin, maybe? Where's the goblin? Or the griffin? Or the elf? Bring in the griffin. All right. Let's see. We need to go back to the princess, and we need to hide her. Okay. Yep, she'll hide whenever we start the game. We need to hide the griffin as well. So basically the same thing we did with the princess. Event, hide. Oh, looks. And there we go, hide. Okay. And then when I receive forest, we show, and then we will say you are dead meat. So that's really our entire program. So welcome to the story. What's your name? Fart. That's a weird name. Let's try going to the forest this time. 2. You're dead meat. Oh, it didn't actually change. Okay. So here, when I receive forest, I want to swip, yeah, to jungle. Okay. Let's do that again. Let's test it out again. Okay, so we got to the dead meat part, and we know our princess part works. So at this point, all I would really need to do is put in code comments to explain what everything does. Clean it up, make it look, as good as I can. Maybe tweak the times to make them work properly. But at this point, this is pretty much a finished game. So you're going to turn this in, this adventure. You're going to turn this in the same way we turned in all of our other projects up to this point. Hopefully you make something cool. Hopefully you made something cool and didn't just copy what I did. Okay, cool. I'll see you next week. Peace.